The Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, TRC, isn't too keen on waiting any longer for revenue from a new tax, which in fact should have been introduced 9 years ago when the Telecommunications Liberalization Act took effect in 2006. The three local firms in the BVI, CCT, Digicel and Flow want to see the back of the annual industry levy, which CEO of the TRC, Guy Malone, says the agency has been preparing the players for over the past year. A not-so-new revenue measure is about to take effect in the British Virgin Islands. The Industrial Telecommunications Levy has local telecoms players on edge because they would like to avert its imposition, and so they're in earnest talks with the government. But I've been here to speak with the CEO of the TRC, that's the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, Guy Malone, and he says the industrial levy is a necessary one.
We find it necessary that we must now, as per what is stimulated in the operator's license and in their act, and in the Telecoms Act, that we must implement that, because the 3% that we get as per stipulated in the act, any surplus from that, we must turn that surplus over to the consolidated funds, which is government. In essence, with the way things going, we see the need now to bring the industry levy into play. We had meetings with two of the three mobile operators, and we're still waiting to have meeting with one. And in all fairness, I think we haven't alluded that. We explain them what sort of the percentage would be, but then we have to sit around the table and we have to negotiate with them in good faith. We are waiting for the Premier and his team reviewing, and with reference to that, then we would then work out all of the nitty-gritties with the operators, and each would get an invoice to know what they would pay.
The TRC's CEO says while operational costs require the new levy, for which the introduction timeline is being kept mum, the rate for the industry tax could be in the region of 3.5% and will be done in a way to allow telecommunications firms room to adjust.
We are starting this year by only actually wanting half of what it is, and over a 3-year period is when we would then look about getting 100% with respect to what the industry levy should be. The Commission cannot appear to be making a profit. The monies that we don't get monies from government, we get monies from all of the operators, the 4 of them. Right now we get the 3%, which is 3% royalty. We are asking for industry levy. It's about another, I would say, since I said we are cutting it in half, it's about another 3.5%.
The regulator's expansion projects include the hiring of a foreign consultant as chief legal advisor 1 year ago, with a local legal advisor recruited to understudy that consultant, a chief economist, and the construction of a modern monitoring station.
We have just completed the Spectrum Award, where we have allocated LTE spectrum. One of the projects in our plan is to construct a monitoring station at Sabbath Hill, which we should be monitoring each and every spectrum that we allocate. Right now we have spectrum analyzer that we ride around in a vehicle, but it's not good enough. We shouldn't wait to get a complaint that there are interference. We should be out there on a daily basis monitoring the spectrum, and that's an important initiative. And in order to do that, it's beyond the realm of the 3%. It's time and effort. And I would tell you, consultants that work in the telecommunication field and don't come cheap. They're very expensive.